What is honour compared to a woman's love? And what is duty against the feel of a newborn son in your arms? Or a brother's smile?
This is, in my opinion, the single most important scene in all of Game of Thrones. I don't say that lightly. Everything George Martin believes about storytelling lives inside this one moment. The central conflict his entire saga is built on, an irony wrapped inside another irony, and even the first whispers of one of the first TV show's biggest twists. All of it packed into 3 minutes of dialogue between two characters in a room. If you've ever wondered what this show is actually about, this scene is the answer to that. Jon Snow is being torn apart. Back in King's Landing, his father, Ned Stark, has just been thrown in a cell. Meanwhile, his brother Robb is calling the banners and marching to war, and Jon is stuck at the wall, bound by vows that suddenly feel unbearably heavy for him, because all he wants is to stand with his family when it matters the most. As far as Jon's concerned, no one has ever faced a choice this impossible. Here's the first layer of irony though. 5 seasons later, we learn the family Jon's trying to protect is built on a lie. Ned isn't his father, Robb isn't his brother, Jon is a Targaryen. And the kicker, well, he's agonizing over this decision. He's about to get advice from the one person who understands his exact situation better than anyone alive. Someone who, it turns out, is actually part of the real family.
You're Aemon Targaryen.
Master Aemon Targaryen. The irony alone would carry the scene, but the writing goes deeper. Listen closely to what Aemon actually says, and you realise every single line maps onto a real event, one we won't fully understand for years.
If the day should ever come when your Lord Father was forced to choose between honour on the one hand and those he loves on the other, what would he do?
He would do whatever was right.
And there it is, maybe the single biggest piece of foreshadowing in the entire show. And Aemon doesn't even realise he is describing something that's already happened twice. To see why, you need to understand what Aemon's really doing here. He's making a point through Ned Stark. Think about what everyone in Season 1 believes. Ned Stark is the most honourable man in Westeros, and yet he fathered a bastard during the rebellion. From Aemon's perspective, even Ned couldn't choose honour when it counted. He held a newborn son in his arms and love won, and standing right in front of Aemon is the living proof, Jon Snow. Watching Jon's face in the moment, that flicker of hesitation says everything. He gets what Aemon's implying, but he can't say his father chose honour, because that would mean admitting his own existence is a result of broken vows. So instead, he reaches for a bigger word, one that doesn't turn his birth into stain.
Do whatever was right, no matter what.
And here's where the story quietly folds in on itself, because they are both right. We later learn that on the day Jon was born at the Tower of Joy, Ned chose his dying sister's love over everything. His reputation, the realm's judgment, even his own wife's anger. He set aside his honour to do what was right, and he does it again years later, confessing to a crime he didn't commit right before his execution, destroying his honour one more time to protect the people he loves.
I am Ned Stark. I come before you to confess my treason.
But that scene isn't done. Up to this point, Aemon's been talking about one man's choice. Now, he zooms out to everyone, and in doing so lays out exactly why this is the defining scene of the series.
Then Lord Stark is one man in 10,000. What is honour compared to a woman's love? And what is duty against the feel of a newborn son in your arms? Or a brother's smile?
Genuinely, one of the most haunting lines in the whole show. Aemon frames it as a question, but the way Martin writes it, it's not a question at all. It's an answer hiding in plain sight. Look closely and you'll find Rhaegar, Robb, Jaime, Jon, even Aemon himself. And if you've watched the show, you'll know that Rhaegar loved Lyanna, abandoned his wife, Elia Martell, forsook his duty, and brought down the entire dynasty. Robb loved Taleza, and it cost him his army, the war, and his life. Jaime loved Cersei, and for her, he became everything people already believed he was. And Jon, the second he fell for Ygritte, his vows didn't stand a chance. Every one of them did what they did for the same reason. Love. And Aemon lays that out all the way back in Season 1. The human heart in conflict with itself is the only thing that ever truly matters in the story. And then there's the last image Aemon saves for himself, a brother's smile. On the surface, that's clearly aimed at Jon desperate to rise south for Robb, but for Aemon, it's personal in a way Jon can't imagine. Aemon had a brother too, a little boy he once called Egg. Yes, that Egg. And just like everyone else in the scene, Aemon once had to choose. Unlike the rest of them, though, he chose duty and he never saw his brothers again. Watch his face as he talks about that smell. He's blinding it. He smells like it's right in front of him. 4 seasons later, on his deathbed, the last word he ever says is egg.
Egg, mother's looking for you. Egg.
But that's still years away right now. Aemon is just an old man standing across from a boy who thinks nobody could possibly understand what he's going through. And from 60 years of carrying the weight of his own choice, he distills it all into one line.
We're all human. Oh, we all do our duty when there's no cost to it. Honor comes easy then. Yet, sooner or later, in every man's life, there comes a day when it is not easy. A day when he must choose.
That's a line philosophers could have written centuries ago, except it comes from a blind old man in a fantasy show about dragons. And that is the real genius of Martin's writing. It's not just a great quote, it's structural. Every tragedy in this story starts with exactly this kind of choice. Rhaegar chooses Lyanna, Ned protects Jon, Stannis sacrificed Shireen, and maybe the most fitting example of all, Jaime killing the Mad King. Ned says this straight to Jaime's face, essentially repeating Aemon's exact philosophy. Except he means it as an insult. To Ned, Jaime never faced a real test at all. He just took the easy way out. Except Ned's wrong. 2 seasons later, we learn Jaime killed the Mad King to save an entire city of innocent people. Jaime's day came too, and ironically, he did exactly what Ned did. He broke his vows and torched his own reputation to do the right thing. Neither of them ever realized they are mirror images of each other, both living proof of the exact truth Aemon just laid out. To Jon. Of course, Jon can't see any of this yet. Not the irony sitting inches from him, not the deeper meaning under Aemon's words. From where Jon's standing, everything is simple, and everything hurts.
You do not know. No one knows. I may be a bastard, but he is my father and Robb is my brother.
And that laugh Aemon gives after says it all, almost like he's gently mocking Jon for believing what he just said. Even Aemon doesn't fully grasp why the laugh lands so perfectly, but Martin does. It's Martin laughing at the audience because he knows exactly how the sentence is going to flip on its head years later.
His name is Aemon Targaryen.
Then Aemon does the thing he's been building toward the whole scene. He turns the mirror on himself. Every question he's asked Jon comes from a wound of his own, and now he finally opens that door.
The gods were cruel when they saw fit to test my vows. And what could I do when the ravens brought the news from the south? The death of my family. I was helpless, blind, frail. But when I heard they had killed my brother's son, and his poor son, and the children, even the little children.
Peter Vargan's delivery gives me chills every time. That low growl, the rage flickering behind blind eyes. He's an old, frail man, and you can still see the dragon in him. The massacre he's describing happened nearly 20 years earlier, and he's still visibly seething. That alone tells you everything about what his choice cost him. He took his vows, left his family behind, and still carries not just the helplessness of watching them burn from afar, but the knowledge that he had walked away from the wall. He might have stopped it. In the books, it's even worse. Aemon says he was tested 3 separate times over his life, and each time it cost him something he never got back.
I will not tell you to stay or go. You must make that choice yourself and live with it for the rest of your days, as I have.
Aemon delivers his final line and walks out, leaving Jon in silence. There's no easy answer offered, just the truth. That there is only the choice, and the weight you carry afterward. And from this point forward, every major decision Jon makes in the story becomes an echo of this exact conversation. Every choice gets harder, every choice costs more, and every time Jon pays for it, just like Aemon did. If you made it this far, thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed it, drop a comment, hit like, and subscribe. It genuinely helps me a lot, and if you want to support the channel directly, put your thoughts in the comments and tell me things that you think I should touch on about the show.